Hello and welcome everybody. Today, with the release of GFUEL's Dr. Disrespect Shaker, I am going to be showing how I record and how I produce my little Instagram story advertisements. I've been getting a lot of feedback about how great they've been and how people love seeing them, and I've gotten a lot of requests to show how I create them. So today, we're going to be going through beginning to end how I create my Instagram story ad rolls. So once all of our files are imported, we're going to drag a clip onto the timeline. Now, as you can see, this is still 16:9 format. So if we go to sequence settings, all we're going to do is swap the values that you see here. It doesn't matter that this is in 4K because as soon as we export this, we're going to down-res it to 1080 and make it all work in the end. Changes to the preview file format. Do the preview size require all preview files to be deleted? Does not matter. We don't really have any preview files to be deleted so much as we really need. So as you can see, this cuts and crops the footage instead of rotating it. That's a simple fix. All we have to do is go to the rotation panel, rotate this by -90 degrees, and you are set. So I like to take this motion, right-click, copy it, so now any motion that we have, whether it's position, scale, and this isn't just for this video, this is just a tip, for any video that you create, is going to be stored in copying this. So that's any keyframe, anything like that. So any clip that we then drag onto the timeline, so let's say we drag this one for example, it still looks cropped. All we have to do is anywhere in this gray space, click on paste, and it's fixed. So any video files like that, that's going to be the case. Now, I brought in some footage from my recording of the earlier version of this, which you saw as the pre-B-roll to this. Now, really all that's going to happen here is it's going to be cropped. So all we can do is scale this up however large you want. Obviously, it has to, take care of the frame, but then you have essentially the same effect that you otherwise would. So that's how it works on a 16:9. So if you want, in this case, this might not be a bad shot to use because it's got that pretty cool slick swipe to it. So here we have, actually I'm gonna use this. So we can see here that we have, oh, that's maybe not a good spot. Let's do it a little bit earlier. We have this little bit of a swipe and it looks really cool, really zoomed in. I don't know, it just looks really good in my opinion. So we're going to use that. So in this case, we're going to make this video 10 seconds long because that's what Instagram stories work with. And I'm going to just time-lapse and speed through the creation of this, and then we'll kind of touch in, and I might voice over in whatever I need to as I need. So as you can see, here is our finished product. Now I added a little bit of music, just a little bit of a background beat. I basically just made the clips sequence nicely to the beat. I added a slight blur to the actual video that's being played so you can see the text, but still be drawn two little bits of the video behind it. So one thing that I think is very effective within making these is creating this so that your viewer knows exactly what it is that you're watching. Now, in some instances, I've done different sorts of motion. So in the instance with the story that I created for the last photo shoot creative meetup that I did use After Effects for that, but only because I thought that I would be able to get it out quicker if I used After Effects. I am more versed with After Effects than I am with Premiere, so sometimes I just choose After Effects, but there's absolutely nothing that can't be done in After Effects only as opposed to making the exact same thing in Premiere. So here I'm just going to add a little bit of effects to this video. So in the case of that video, all I really think that I could do here to show you exactly how that was is to take a motion and basically keyframe this position, drag it all the way in any direction. I'm going to go up with it and then bring it down into the frame. So if we do this, we have a cat that's really wanting to come sit on my lap. Why don't you just sit on the desk? Why don't you just sit on the desk there? So if we were to do that, and you don't want to sit on the desk. Well played, well played. So here is going to be our ending keyframe. So basically we can just drag this back down. We know that the value is 1920. Bring this back down, and essentially we have this motion now. So basically all I did was have multiple layers of the sequence on top of each other, and then I just moved them according to how I needed them to interact with one another in that instance. So for this video, I can use all sorts of different techniques, bring in some different sorts of motion. This is obviously way too fast. I would probably actually like to have it extend a bit longer, and we can easy ease these keyframes in and make them really nice and continuous and nice and smooth. And we can obviously add blur to this as well, so let's add a little bit of Gaussian blur just because I think it's nice and easy. We can bring this in, keyframe it here, make sure that we repeat those edge pixels and bring it back here, maybe give it about a 50 blur just to show as an example here. And as you can see, in fact, I probably might even want to go higher. Let's just way overdo it. You can see exactly how this interacts with the frame. Now, directional blur, and there's other blurs and masks that you can use to make each scene and each sequence a little bit differently, but here are a few examples of how you can make your Instagram stories really pop, really show some valuable skills to your viewer, and really enhance the message that your stories are coming across with. So I hope that this was a little bit instructional. I hope that you learned something from this video. If you did, please be sure to smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. I'd love to do more tricks and tips like this because I think that stuff like this is going to be the next step that a lot of creators take, especially creators that I know that have been asking about this sort of thing, to creating the best content that they've created. And I know that a lot of people are doing really great things that a lot more eyes need to be on, and I think this is a very great way to get more eyes on your work because it's very eye-catching. It draws your eyes right to the subject at hand, right to what it's doing, right to what you're trying to sell them, without just being a picture of here's this product, blah 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 blah, swipe up and here's the link. This is a lot more interactive, it creates a lot more conversation, it gets a lot more feedback, and it works. So thank you guys for watching, and until next time, I will see you on the internet.